If you think about that Just Do It then, that would have coincided where, because when we were kids, night was everywhere, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and so there must have been. That's
So
that's
we
their
were
big
kind of
push.
in that big
That was their
wave
big push
in the first place.
Okay. Apparently, the national curriculum was made in 1988. So that said that every single pupil received the same standard of education.
Okay.
So before that, could you just teach what you wanted?
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking. So they decided then that everyone should study the same content across the whole country.
Yeah, so you should be teaching all this, and this. Because I've heard, like, back in the day, it depends on your teacher. Like, if your teacher really liked whatever, you would learn about all of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
but isn't that kind of what it's like at university, though? Because every university...
No, but you choose.
Physics course doesn't have to be the same content. They can focus on something.
No, but at university, you choose on what you want to focus on. Whereas children, you know,
I know the difference in that, yeah.
You'd think, though, that they would... there would be something before that, but that's mad. So we caught the beginning end of just like I do remember a teacher just going on about
the national
anything.
curriculum.
No, about any like before that, just about like I really like this poem.
Yeah,
we're gonna do this poem, and I'm like, I've never heard of that poem before. Again and again.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like,
no, you're right. So it is whatever they like and they have a feel for.
Yeah,
and they could have just been teaching you crud all the way through, and you would have never known.
Yeah. So that's good that that we know that all children are doing the same thing.
So that we're learning poems and then write on the way to school on the bus.
Yeah. I really liked this particular type of sweet. So we're all going to do a poster on it.
Yeah.
Crime Stoppers is 30 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen this man? If you see this man, don't approach him.
Yeah. You know, my favourite bit though, at the end it will be like, all right, thanks for watching, and don't have nightmares. See you next time. I always just look around like, who's having nightmares?
What do you mean? They've just showed people getting stabbed and punched.
Is that going to lead to a nightmare?
Yeah.
No, I mean, mate, I was having much different nightmares.
You were just dreaming that you were doing it.
No, not that.
Dreaming that you were
my nightmares involved like some mutant creatures and whatever. My nightmares were all originating from Doom, not from Crime Stoppers, mate.
Okay. Apparently GCSE exams.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask around the national curriculum. Were they at the same time then?
Yeah, seems like it, because it launched in 1988.
Yeah.
So then that makes sense, because if everyone's learning the same thing, you can
standardise the exams.
So what did I have before that?
Oh no, it's the same thing again. A teacher just makes like 20 questions
about that poem that you realise he wrote 10 years ago. Yeah, all right. The £1 note went out of circulation 30 years ago.
I kind of didn't realise it was that recent.
Yeah. I've also, when was the euro? Well, I think it's 20 something years ago, isn't it?
When the euro was first created.
Yeah, because I remember, because I've got a Spanish family. I remember the peseta.
Yeah. And their money.
People used to go in patatas because they were raised. But yeah,
I remember learning all the currencies like pesos and lira.
I was into collecting them.
Oh, serious?
You could get a magazine. It was like a monthly magazine. That's
I was thinking, we were like in primary school, mate. What are you doing? I want the magazine with the money, the one with the coins.
Yeah, mate. I wish I still thought like that. Saving money. I wish I still thought like that, mate. But I used to have. Imagine if I had them all now. How much
I don't think they'll be worth anything.
What do you mean? They're not in circulation anymore.
That doesn't matter. All of the original ones. Oh yeah, everyone would have traded in their coins to get euros, isn't it?
Mate. If I had that book,
with
all of that money in it, the old coins.
I think that they'll.
You're like, nah. But where did you store it? Yeah. I might just where's your bathroom? Oops. Put that out. Bit of a audience. What's Prozac?
Prozac. It's a medicine, isn't it? Anxiety medicine.
Exactly. That
in
was
America.
Is it only available in America?
Well, no, it must be available here, but the pharmaceutical industry in America is a big push on those things.
Antidepressant, isn't it? Yeah, that's 30 years ago. 30 years old. Okay, and finally,
yes,
things that are 50 years old.
50 years old
in 2018.
Yeah.
Beanbag chairs.
Okay.
Yeah, do you like a beanbag
chair? So hold
chair?
on, these are things that came out in the 70s, yeah?
If you want. I'm guessing. No, 1968.
68.
Do the maths, man. Do the maths.
I was rounding up, mate. Let's go.
I wonder about you sometimes.
Alright.
Did you ever purchase a beanbag chair?
Not a beanbag chair. I had one of those beanbag footstools, if you know what I mean. Just like rest your feet up when you're on the sofa.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. The lava lamp apparently was invented in 1968.
Yeah, see, this all makes sense. 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Hippies and what is it called? And disco.
It's
disco from the 60s. I don't know, mate.
More 70s.
Yeah, alright, that's the kind of transition I'm talking about.
But yeah, late 60s definitely. Yeah,
so lava lamps
that makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense, doesn't it? But I just think I was bought one at uni. Yeah. It's just so pointless.
Exactly. It was.
Are they meant to like calm you down?
Nah, I think this when you're high and you're looking at the lava lamp, it's like, it's so cool, man. It's like the weight of life just takes you up and takes you back down again. Yeah, I think that's what the
You've done that before, man. You've done that before. I didn't realise Calvin Klein jeans were designed in 1968.
Yeah. What did you think would have been? Oh, you think that's young? I mean,
that's old.
You thought they were younger?
Yeah. Calvin Klein. They're doing well, man.
So Levi's, I have like an image of them being around from the beginning of jeans, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like workers' clothes in like the 1930s. Levi's were making jeans. So yeah, Calvin Klein, I didn't really think about them too far away from that. Alright.
Now, like when you're trying to quickly search something and then Google, which is 20 this year, finishes your sentence and it's not what you wanted to search for.
And you already pressed
Yeah. What is that button?
Now that button is, you don't even want to see all of the options, you just feel lucky, take me direct to the page you think I'm looking for.
Oh really? Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
No, because I want to choose what I'm looking for.
Because if they do, if they get it right, I'm going to wonder about that.
They'll just choose from like the top 5. The top 5 are usually what you're looking for, but you want a specific one that looks the most authentic or reliable.
Oh, I get you. So they're not just guessing what you were looking for?
No, you'll type it in. You'll type in like Man United result. Yeah. And some of the Google searches will show you a result from last week, last month, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But the top one should be the most recent thing. Yeah. It kind of randomly picks between that first page of results.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was like they guess what you're looking for.
As in on the whole internet.
Yeah. You're off a lot, no, because then you can find out some facts.
Nah, mate. You can also find a lot of other stuff.
Like, for example, you press, do I feel lucky? And it tells you that the Adidas Telstar soccer ball was 50 this year.
Oh, I don't know which one the Telstar is.
See, the one that looks like a normal, like...
Oh, okay. But then
with the patches, the black and white patches.
So other balls...
No, as in they designed that kind of ball.
Alright. So what were we using before that? Pig bladders?
I don't know, man, but just, like the typical, like the pentagon, the black and white pentagons.
Yeah, the iconic
that
football.
kind of...
To be honest, actually, before that, they did have those leather footballs, isn't it?
Yeah, heavy ones.
Yeah, exactly.
They still have the pentagon style, though. Right?
They do. I think that's just like a standard, but then they've got ones where there's a lot fewer panels and less seaming. It helps the ball to travel really nicely.
All right.
Plus Adidas, I'm sure they're still making the Telstar, but obviously this is like the the Mark 38 or version whatever by now.
Yeah. Do you remember like the evolution of football boots as well? Do you remember when we were kids? There used to be one called the Predator, which had little
boots.
It's
like ridges, wasn't it?
Ridges on it, meant to make you kick the ball better. Rubbish.
I know. You know what? I had one pair of football boots. I must have been in sixth form or somewhere around there, and they just had a nice little bit of grip around the heel. And I swear those are the best football boots I've ever had. I was doing tricks all day long. Yeah. What are you saying? All my boots were just as good as each other?
Yeah, and then you just believed that you could still do those tricks, mate.
Mate, these would grip the ball in a certain way. And I've searched for something similar. They just don't have.
What were they called?
I can't remember, but they were Adidas.
Yeah.
You
better not just be talking about the Predator, mate.
No, it wasn't the Predator. The Predator had all that stuff in the front.
Yeah.
This.
Where was this? At the back?
Around the back of the heel. I'm just saying.
How are you doing tricks at the back of your heel?
No, as in like just to stop and turn, all of that kind of stuff.
I thought you just like back passes.
All for the whole match. I was just running backwards for the whole game.
Zach, stop! You know that. Oh, he's got tackled again. He's trying to do another back. Wait. Oh no, wait, you didn't let me do it.
Joker.
Alright. Okay, that was my segment.
Oh, yeah.
If you know anything else that is turning an age.
Yeah. Everything is turning an age.
No, but what do you call it when it's like...
it's just one of the important anniversaries, isn't it?
What's the word? Yeah, what's the word?
A whole number anniversary?
They're all whole numbers.
They are all whole numbers.
Mate, you're not doing very well for your mathematical skills
Whatever,
this episode.
A round number anniversary. Round number anniversary.
No, but you know when they say, I'm coming up to the... You know, like when birthdays, they say, 20 is a big one, 30 is a big one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they say 25 as well, though.
It's kind of a round number as well.
If you know the word, please.
Let Have know. Just confirm my answer to Have.
And if you know, if you're good at maths and you're a tutor. All right.
Get in contact. Alright, have you heard of... I forgot his name for a second. Alfred Nobel.
Nobel?
Yeah.
As in Nobel Prize?
Yeah, that's one of the things that he's famous for.
Okay, no, didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
he is the originator of the Nobel Prize. And there's multiple Nobel Prizes. I think the most famous is the Nobel Peace Prize. But there's loads of them. There's like a prize for physics and a prize for literature. Yeah. There's actually quite a few of them.
Do you know what the requirement for the Peace Prize is?
I don't.
Is it to just bring...
I think these things all go to a committee and they can kind of choose for themselves. Because you'll find certain people who... It might be questionable whether or not they should have won that Nobel Peace Prize.
Exactly, yeah.
I think it's a lot more subjective than the other prizes that are available. There's one for physics, literature... mathematics, economics.
But exactly, because that I can kind of guess what it's for.
Yeah,
but
I think it's just going to be a world leader. Just who's the world leader of the year? I've got a feeling it's that.
Yeah, so it says person that has done their best work between nations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's that then?
Like you said, somebody that's done something to bring people together.
All right, so the best diplomatic work.
Yeah, not necessarily a leader of the country. It could be just...
Fair enough.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, carry on.
All right, so all of those different prizes. But actually, that's not even maybe his most lasting legacy. You know, he was the guy who invented dynamite.
Really?
Yeah, Alfred Nobel invented dynamite. But it was one of those situations, there was one of those situations where his obituary was written early and he read his obituary. You know, there's a few people where they'll take a photo with a newspaper that's saying that they've died but they're the one in the picture with the photo.
Right,
where the headline was just a little bit too... Exactly, it's a little bit creepy. The headline just came premature. Anyway, he read an early obituary and he didn't really like the way that it portrayed him, so he kind of became